Welcome back to another video on the channel. Today, we're going to be talking about Casper. I'm going to be providing you with an update on my thoughts and feelings regarding the Casper current price and future potential. So if that sounds interesting, please make sure to leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and if you like Casper content. I've been discussing Casper for a long time now on the channel, since it was below a penny, in fact. I made a video on Casper back all the way in November 2022, and I went pretty much all in at around 3 cents. Okay. So I am a big fan of Casper. I'm a big fan of the tech. I'm a big fan of the project. But today we're going to be realistic for a second because there's all sorts of moon boy price predictions out there and people trying to pull the wool over your eyes. Today we're going to be realistic. We're going to look at the chart. We're going to analyze it, and we're going to get into things going for the project right now, potential catalysts, potential things to be bullish about, and also potential things to be concerned about. So let's get straight into the video. So we're going to look at the chart for Casper. We're going to compare it to USD, and we're going to compare it also to Bitcoin. And we're going to take a look at some of the things going on with this chart, because right now it is not looking the best. I'm going to be completely and utterly upfront with you. It's not looking the best. I personally saw some of these warning signs of Casper quite a while back, and I started gradually kind of dollar cost averaging out of Casper once I started to see some of these warning signs. And if you're in my Discord, you would have gotten those alerts, right? Not because I'm not bullish on Casper, I'm obviously bullish on the project, but because the price, the chart was not looking good. And there were clear signs of this as early as kind of August 2024, okay, when we saw this big rejection down and, certain things were happening that weren't necessarily making me the most bullish on the chart, okay? You had a situation where Shaidesh was making a lot of political posts that was garnering a lot of dissatisfaction across large parts of the Casper community. I personally had people tell me they had millions and millions of dollars in Casper. They sold the whole lot as a result of that. You also had the KRC20 thing happen. Didn't necessarily go as well as some people thought. And we did not get a tier 1 listing despite many false promises that existed, right? So there was a fair amount of reasons as to why Casper kind of lost some of its momentum that it had earlier on in the cycle, and why there was brewing dissatisfaction amongst a lot of the Casper holders, and myself included, by the way. I am one of the most bullish people you'll find on the tech and the fundamentals of Casper, but I was starting to, get a bit of dissatisfaction from this period onwards. And, you could say, well, the only thing that changed is the price went down. And whilst that may to some extent be true, there are other things that definitely caused a bit of dissatisfaction. Okay, the lack of tier 1s certainly has been a cause for annoyance and a cause for boredom. Some of the marketing as well, it didn't really do itself favors, but we're not going to get into that in too much depth. But fundamentally, Casper was a premature mover this bull run. It made most of its move very early on. And then subsequent to that, it's been pretty quiet and pretty sideways and boring and even down as of late. So I'm just going to be totally upfront and honest with you. I'm struggling to find things in this Casper chart that really look bullish, okay? Because there isn't a great deal. It's broken down below all the key levels to me, broken down below all the fib levels that we're potentially looking at. It's broken down below this final kind of support level here, around 10 cents or 9 cents, and then down here around 8 cents as well. It's just broken down below there. Came down to 5 cents, and then we've kind of not been able to break back above this level. So it's not looking amazing. And if Bitcoin continues to come down, I would be inclined to believe that Casper could be making another move down to around 5 cents, maybe some form of double bottom, and then we get kind of confluence to the upside and people start getting bullish because we had a double bottom, possibly that, or maybe even a breakdown further in the chart. So honestly, the short term, it doesn't look amazing, but there are reasons as to why I still hold a decent amount of Casper in my portfolio. Now, full disclosure, Casper is around 10% of my portfolio as of right now. I have about a 40% cash position, and then Sui and Bitcoin, they're both around 30% of my actual crypto holdings. So out of my actual crypto holdings, Casper is 10%, and then Sui and Bitcoin are both 30. And then I have a 40% cash position as well, which is obviously not considered part of my crypto portfolio. So I am willing to rebuy back into Casper if it goes to potentially levels which would convince me. Now, considering my average buy on Casper is 4 cents, I'm not necessarily in a rush to be buying it right now in bulk. Maybe I'll chip in here and there a little DCA, but I'm not going to be buying it in bulk unless it goes significantly lower. And that might not even happen. And if it doesn't, I'm happy to miss out on that because I already have a really nice bag that I accumulated much, much lower in prices than where we are now. But there are some things coming to Casper that are genuinely bullish. And this is one key point I want to make in this video. The only reason I'm holding on to Casper is because of the fundamentals. It's not because of the chart. The chart to me doesn't look great, and it hasn't looked great in a long time. If I came from a different avenue of investing or trading, let's say I came from Forex or I came from the stock market, and I took a look at the Casper chart, it would instantly turn me off. It wouldn't look good. It used to be the best looking chart in crypto. But as of late, the fact it hasn't held levels, the fact it's been so slow when a lot of the other coins in the market were pumping, had I not known about the fundamentals, had I purely invested based off the charts alone, this would be in the avoid category, just like Ethereum would. Casper and Ethereum, both of their charts don't look great, especially when you compare them to Bitcoin. And this is the Casper chart compared to Bitcoin, just continually bled out since pretty much the start of 2024. Okay, so it's well over a year now that this has been happening. And, it just doesn't look amazing. But eventually it will bottom out. And eventually I'd be inclined to think it will start heading up compared to Bitcoin. And these would be the reasons as to why I am holding on to my Casper, as to why I think, and you could call this cope, you could call this hopium, and maybe I am thinking with emotion a bit too much here. These are the reasons as to why I still hold Casper, because of the fundamentals, because I believe at some point the fundamentals could trump the chart. That's literally all I'm hanging on to here, is that the fundamentals of Casper could trump the chart and could essentially override the bearish chart and the bearish structure and allow us to somehow get bullish again. That's why I'm holding on to it. And you could say that's pure hope and cope, and that's fine, right? But that is the reason why I'm still holding a bunch of Casper, because we haven't got a Binance or a Coinbase listing yet. I think one of those will probably happen, more likely to be the Binance one this year. We haven't got smart contracts yet, and that is going to be coming out this year. Bitcoin whales and maxis could potentially see the appeal of Casper. Okay, I'm not saying Michael Saylor will buy, but definitely other people in the Bitcoin space. We've already seen Da Vinci Jeremy get a bit of an appeal to Casper and like the tech. Okay, so we could see more people with a lot of money like him potentially flock over to Casper, or at least be interested by it. We've got the Crescendo hard fork, which is going to be huge. And a lot of people believe that once this is done, once it's been hard forked, and, essentially there's a new version, then we get the listings. Until this happens, we won't be getting the tier ones, and they're going to wait for this to happen. That's what a lot of people are saying. Maybe that's the case. And then we'll also be getting stable coins on Casper. So there's a lot of good things to come, and that's why I'm holding on to it. I'm not holding on to it because of the chart, because to me, I could find charts in the market that look a lot better than Casper. The perfect example would be Sui. I mean, it's held the levels a lot better. I'll show you what I mean. And this is not to really compare the two. Obviously, they're very different projects fundamentally. Sui is much more like a Solana. Casper is its own type of project. We haven't really seen anything like it in crypto. So look at that, right? You see how Sui has came down to the golden pocket and it's seen a bounce, right? And the structure still looks nice. It looks like it's ready to make, it's had this kind of massive run. Now it's come down for the correction. It looks like it's ready to make another big run, right? To me, anyway. Casper, on the other hand, it kind of just looks like you don't know what to expect. At any point, you could get a God candle and we could see all-time highs, or it could just keep trading sideways for another 3 to 6 months, right? Anything can happen. So it's more of a speculative investment at this point compared to something where the chart looks ready to break out, because it doesn't. So that's my opinion, guys. I'm I know I was kind of waffling a bit, but I think sometimes there's a bit of value in that, right? There's a bit of value in just sharing opinions and, just thinking out loud. But yeah, that's my opinions on Casper. I think it will do well this bull run. I'm not prepared to give away price targets. I think at this point, Casper will be lucky to hit $1 in all reality. And I have reduced my price targets on Casper multiple times now. If you go back a year or two, I was saying that Casper could go between $1 to $5. Then I went to $2 to $3, and then about 6 to 12 months ago, I dropped it significantly to $1 to $2, and now I'm saying it'll probably be lucky if it hits $1. So the predictions are constantly reducing, and I just think it's unfair to go and give a really kind of pessimistic prediction here, because it could just go and surprise us. It could genuinely all of a sudden give us a massive God candle out of nowhere, kind of like what XRP did, right? So it's not unprecedented in crypto for a coin that's trading sideways to all of a sudden do a 5 to a 7x in the space of a month. It's not unprecedented. We've seen it before, and there's good reason to believe that that could happen, that we get a God candle in a month. And there is good reason to believe that we could have a similar breakout to how XRP did, where you see a massive breakout, a massive run in a short period of time based on some of these catalysts. I mean, could you imagine if Casper got the crescendo hard fork, everything went well, and then a few weeks later we go and get Binance? Like those two things back to back, they could definitely trigger very bullish price action and trigger a lot of FOMO to come back in, because it is fundamentally a great coin. And people will wake up to that eventually, in my view. Now, it is its first cycle. I don't have extremely high targets like other people. I've never called for $10. I've never called for $20. I've never called for $50 or anything like that. I think it's going to do really well in the long run, but it's its first bull run. It needs to get through this. And, let's give it some time and some patience. So appreciate you watching the video. If you want to see exactly when I'm buying and when I'm selling certain coins, go and join the VIP group. I do have about 40% of my wealth in cash right now. So I'm in the position where I am looking to get some good discounts, some good bargains. And whenever I see opportunities in the market, I will be buying. So go ahead, get in the VIP group for real-time buy and sell alerts, as well as a 24/7 active Discord community, helping out with your crypto investing and trading journey. If you want personalized one-to-one help, then go for the mentor tier. You can reach out to me and DM me privately on the mentor tier, as well as access additional chats, which are basically like fast track chats. If you want TA, if you want a coin reviewed, if you want your portfolio reviewed, you can get it in there. And some of my team who are experts in their field, they will help you out. Appreciate you watching the video, guys. Smash the likes, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.